Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another Channeling Erik, where I'm providing Archangel guidance through live readings every Friday. And who am I? I'm Kamastaff, also known as Khan Knight, and I'm an intuitive empath, where I'm providing channeled guidance through channeled messages, and I bring it to you to ask any questions you may have. I'm here to answer those questions, and I'm going to use this time to practice developing my intuitive gifts. And that's really it. So thanks all for being here. Really excited to have you all here. Hi, everybody. Hey, Angela. Hello, Marlene. Hi, Chaitu. Hey, KB. Got lots of lovely people here. Hello, everyone. Hi, Samruddhi. Hi. Okay, so I'm looking at my list here. So I'm just going to remind everybody of this. I'm taking messages that are posted 5 minutes before the start of the event to give people time, because I found that 15 minutes before, it would be like an hour and a half before I actually even got to any of the 12 o'clock people. So I've changed to 5 minutes. I see a few people have posted already, and that's okay. I'm going to put you at the end. So if you want to repost to move yourself more up in the queue, that's great. Otherwise, I will get to the end when I can read you again. So let me jump here. Hey, KB. So that goes for Samruddhi, KB, and Chaitu, please. So just repost your questions, please, and we'll get you at the back. And same with you, Marlene. So I'm going to be starting with KB today. And that's great. So I've added Jurgita. Hey, Grace. Hi, Dee. There's Mishi. Got you, Franco. I got Karen. Everybody, excuse me, I'm just kind of adding a few people to the list here, and I'm going to get started. I do want to make just a quick little announcement. When is that going to be? On June 22nd. So Wednesday, June 22nd at 1 p.m., I'm going to be doing an advanced pineal gland activation. So this happened on my Patreon group. If you're on part of my Patreon group, I kind of taught you about the foundations, or I show the foundations of the pineal gland, how to stimulate the lower three abdomens using the breath to actually put pressure on the pineal gland, which releases the crystals that create this piezoelectrical effect. And essentially that we're entering into different dimensions, or at least going through different chemical stages. And I talk about those different chemical stages. I mentioned a little bit on my Facebook group, also, or on my Facebook page at ConKnight99. But predominantly the details are in the Patreon group. So I'm going to be taking that. And at the time of my Patreon group, they did not allow me to go into an advanced release because people weren't ready yet. So I'm putting that out there now. If people want to get activated on doing the pineal gland meditation, join the Patreon group. Otherwise, I will put a bit of instructions up as soon as I can. No guarantees, but I need people to kind of get themselves activated first, or a little bit more deeper into the process before I can actually run the activation. So that's going to be June 22nd. So that is in a couple of weeks at 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be doing a pineal gland activation, and it is more of an advanced one. You need to be a little bit prepared. So I don't want to push you guys a little bit too far. I'm sure you'll be okay otherwise, but the point that we went through, because there's a lot of energy and what's happening on the planet and within the group sessions, there's a lot of energy that's moving. So I put that out there. Let me know in the comments afterwards if anyone is interested in me posting that a little bit of information. I'll try to put up something small. Otherwise, go to the Patreon group at ConKnight/Patreon and consider signing up. There's a lot of details there. And let me just actually throw that up there right now. So there's my Patreon, patreon.com/ConKnight. And there's the Facebook group that I put a little bit of information on it. So take a look at those two if you're not interested. And if not, hey, that's okay too. I'm glad you all came up. All right, so I'm coming up to the top of my list. And I'm going to start with BG today. If you've seen your name already, I'm starting with BG. If you know that you posted earlier, repost, because I'm only taking messages about 5 minutes before 12. And this is at, let me see, at 4:53. I hope you guys can understand why I'm doing that. And let's give everybody a chance to kind of get in here. So BG asks, is there a message? Let me just post it up again. Is there a message up for me from BG? I'm feeling like a little bit of fluttering here. It almost seems like a little bit of uncertainty, where you can't really decide A or B, one side or another. Choices, like you're just kind of stuck between the two. What does BG need to hear? And I'm feeling kind of the pressure that's kind of coming into my body and my throat, and there's a need to actually speak up and say something. And I just feel you being like torn here. Can you make it stronger? What's going on? Just seems like your overall energy is a little bit weak right now. Like, I don't know what you're doing with yourself, BG. Yeah, I'm just having like a real hard time tuning in. And it just feels like your energy is so low. And that kind of, what does that have to do with? It's not so much diet and nutrition, even though it could be better. Um, it feels like the overactivity of your brain. There really is a need for meditation. So this is what happens. Like when your brain, when we get caught up in your day to day thoughts and we start overthinking, what happens is that our brain ends up becoming automatic, or it becomes overactive. And as it becomes overactive, overstimulated, it kind of takes over and controls our autonomic nervous system. And our autonomic nervous system is the things that function: your breathing, your eating, your digestion, every single function that happens, the trillions of cells that are dying off and being created every second. Like it's just, that's what's happening to the autonomic nervous system. And it feels like yours is not quite intact. There's like an overactivity that's happening, BG. There feels like I'm really encouraging you to get into a little bit more consistent meditation. And I think that, you might be finding that that you're getting caught up with your family, that you said, no, I don't have time to that. I got to take care of them. But this is one of those times that you got to take care of yourself. You really need to get into, and we're entering into a big shift here. Like we're coming into like the big awakening in a couple of weeks. We're going to have a massive divide and shift. So everything's going to be awoken in about 2 weeks from now. So it really is a need for you to prepare on that. Be prepared and get on the bandwagon. So get into some meditation, start taking care of yourself first, talking to yourself, loving thoughts, put yourself first for a little bit, at least for the next 2 weeks. Put yourself first before you go do everything for everybody else. You got to do this for somebody else. Do it for yourself first. Get into like a little bit of meditation, a bit of quietness, and do that first. It's really coming in strongly for your BG. I hope that resonates. Yeah, there's definitely a need for you to do that. Please do. Please do. Hey, Ann, I've added you to the lists. Angela, I've added you. And okay, I'm coming to. Okay, so I got D, White Rabbit. I do. Hey, brother Jim, how's it going, buddy? Yeah, your question disappeared, D. Yeah, give me the first half. I can't stop thinking about your ex. Okay, great. Thanks, D. I've kind of put that together now. Boop. Okay, awesome. Let me come to the next one. And I'm coming to Jurgita. And that is 9:42. So Jurgita says, good morning, Erik, Khan, and all. I had a feeling that I need to move to USA. So I did. I wonder if there's a higher purpose for that. If yes, what was it? Much love to you. Okay. Erik? Thanks, buddy. Okay, so what's going on with Jurgita? Move to US, higher purpose for that? Yeah, of course, there's always a higher purpose. It seems for you to really to be more in a nurturing environment. They're saying that where you're from, your area really culturally didn't give you the ability to expand the way that you wanted to expand. It didn't really allow you to be more. You'd be more conditioned if you were still back where you came from. So at least in the States, there's a little bit more, there's much more freeing of equality that you can actually speak your truth. You can do things a little bit more freely without being looked at or questioned or judged. And this is part of your own growth. So what's her higher purpose? What does she need to do? What's going to be happening for her? And I feel the need that you're going to be helping people in a certain way. It even feels like I'm seeing women and children that you're going to be able to speak with them. It feels like a more of a transition as others from maybe your home country come down and they transition over. You'll be able to not only help them acclimate to the current environment, but also expand themselves spiritually in a way that was hindering in your own culture. So in your culture, meditation might be prevalent there, but in terms of really allowing yourself to let go in identifying yourself as who you are as a man or as a woman, being able to let go of that, you'll be able to actually communicate that. That will help people go further into their meditations. Is it just meditations? But it feels like it's along those lines of being able to spiritually grow and be able to connect with themselves a little bit greater. That's what it feels like to me. Anything more coming through on that? They're also saying patience. And it's going to be coming up. So we have the new world that's going to be starting up. So that everything's going to be coming crashing down in a couple of weeks. Now, I'm not saying this for people to be afraid. It is more of a change. We need to clean the house up. We need to kind of do some demolition before the cleanup happens, before you can rebuild the house. And we're entering that stage of demolition. And the demolition is going to be in 2 weeks. And then there's going to be a period of cleanup. And then there's going to be everything's going to look really beautiful and sparkly. So we're getting to that place. So we think about the destruction, what's going to happen in 2 weeks. Think of it more that you are going to be renovating your kitchen. You're going to be renovating your home, and it's after that part you're going to be kicking in more after the cleanup to help people connect up more, and that's when your gifts are going to be opening up. So. In a few months, you're going to see much more differences that you're going to start contributing in a different way. So be ready for that. Yeah, exciting, really exciting for you, Jurgita. That is beautiful. I'm really happy for you. Sounds a little bit scary, but yeah. Hey, Kay. Okay, cool. I've got you. You're welcome, Peachy. I don't know if that resonates at all. Hi, Trish. Hey, Carolyn. Hey, guys. Okay, great. And again to Marlene, Samruddhi, Chaitu, repost your question, please. Please and thank you. Okay, I'm coming to Michelle. Michelle. Okay. Michelle says, love a message for my highest good from Edistrad Sadra. You're putting me on the spot here, Mishi. What the hell? Edresedra. Edisedra. I hope I said that right. Edisedra. They're laughing at me. She was like a she, like she's just laughing at me for really butchering that. Elda Rasedra. Elda Rasedra. Elda Rasedra. Okay, just close it off. All right, great. You coming closer? Okay, so what does Michelle need to hear for her highest good? She's saying it's like you're going through the spectrum, and I see that page that you sent me. It's the spectrum. It's the spectrum of one of your other guides, and she's on the list. And it feels like she's very happy to be here. Actually, I don't know if it's male or female. It's coming across as more female, but it seems that it's more androgynous. Like it's a balance of both male and female. So they're more androgynous, but they're fine with how I go with female because that's what resonates with me. Okay, so how is she going to work with you? What does she need to hear? It feels like each guide is operating on a different spectrum within your development. In what area are you working on? Okay, so it seems that so you have your board and there's multiple guides that are working with you, like these starseed guides, and each one works on a different spectrum for you, whether it's releasing, creation, manifestation, which is the same, um, cultivating love for yourself and others, whether it's the artistic side. It feels like each one works on a different spectrum. And she feels a little bit more playful to me. It feels a little bit more on the creative side of things, where you're entering a stage of greater creativity and dance. And it feels like there was a point in your life where you were overly creative, like you just had a lot of creativity to you, that people really saw it as a little bit too flighty, like that you're just doing a lot too much. And people couldn't quite understand that, but it was part of your own spiritual growth. It was beautiful. It was perfect the way it was. And it feels like you've suppressed that side of you. You've been creative, but not to the extent that you have been. And it feels like as you're entering into this other stage of releasing, that you're getting to the end of that and finding the real deepness of it, you're going to be entering into a state of greater creation. And I can see you dancing more outside, like with the elementals, with fairies, being out in a communal group, just being outside and dancing. And it feels more free, and you're singing and you have your light language and you're out in the open. So now you're out in the open and you're expressing yourself through light language, you're dancing, and there's people all around you that are dancing with you, and they're mimicking the hand movements that you're creating through your light language and the energy that's coming through you. So it feels like she is part of this dance. It feels like very long, thin, lean, and very expressive in motion. And I feel that's the stage that this guide is inviting in for you, or is going to be bringing you out of your expressiveness to bring it back in the world. It feels like in the past, like you were expressive, people talked down to you, you regressed from that and you pulled back, and she's going to essentially come out dancing with you and hold your hand so you can dance and sing out in public again and be who you were before. So that feels like the guy that she's going to be working with you. That's her role in this creativity. So don't be afraid to Eric's jumping in and say, fly your freak flag. He goes, don't be afraid. Like fly that freak flag. Love that. I hope that makes sense. Hope it resonates. I love it. Fly that freak flag. Love that. Oh, there you are, Marlene. Okay, good. Got you. Okay. And you were before D and K. Thank you for that, Marlene. Okay, I got you. And you're after White Rabbit. Got it. Hey, Carolyn. Yeah. Oh, good. Jurgita says, wow, thank you. I'll update you after. Yeah, please do. I'm excited to see what's going to be happening for you. I'm really excited for you. I'm being drawn to actually read Kay's message right now. So I'm going to start with Kay because there's a lot to it. And I just got drawn to it. So Kay, I'm coming to you. So Kay says, hey, Con, hey, Eric. Hey, Eric. My question today is about my son. I worry my son might have developmental delays. I'm noticing something, and when Doc sees him, he's fine and no concern. I have a background in education and children. I know he's showing signs of autism. Eric, anything would help. Thanks a lot. And then you have a third part. My son is Phoenix. He's nonverbal, just turned 2 years old, and he sings songs in repetition, but doesn't answer to his name and has started becoming frustrated when he's trying to express himself. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with your child. So the labels that people are putting on them, like things like non-developmental and the non-expressive or the non-verbal, that's not necessarily true. They're just communicating in a different way. And this is what's going on with your son. He's actually communicating in a different way that there's going to be a need for you to open up to. And is it what kind of child is he? It's it's like he's like a rainbow child, but not. It's like it's another one. And I'm not quite getting which type of child, but rainbow is what came up first. But it doesn't feel like I feel like it could be something else other than rainbow child. And yeah, at 2 years old, I mean, everyone, just like in this mediumship development, everyone has their process in developmenting. And for your son, um, think of it this way. If you only had to learn mathematics in school, and that's the only subject that you had to work with, you would excel quite quickly with that because that's all you're focusing on. But now you think about all the different courses that you take in school, and it gets a little bit more complicated. You have a more alternative things. So you have now English studies, and then you have mathematics, which are two sides of the brain. And then you add phys ed into there, so you have your motor skills. Well, let's say you add in um, advanced telekinesis or mediumship or other abilities in there. And this is what's going on with your son. So he's not only is your son working with the physical aspect of getting used to the body that he's in, there's the verbal aspect, there is the cognitive piece that isn't ready yet, that isn't going to be coming till like 5 years old, the analytical piece and the cognitive side of things. But right now he's really working on the physical development, and but it's also the ability to speech. But he's already communicating at a telepathic level. And it feels like this needs to be communicated in feeling, in vibration. You could actually even almost operate at light language. You said sound, right? You said singing, because it feels like so when he is singing and verbalizing. Sorry, maybe I'm missing something here. Because it feels like he's maybe singing to you. I don't know if you actually said that or not. Oh yeah, he sings songs. Okay. Oh, sorry, in front of me. Yeah, he sings songs in repetition. So this is just his language. Um, Try tuning into the feeling of the song. Now, as his mother, like you're already connected to him, you already feel him and connect with him on a different level. Something that your partner just can't do anyways, but you can, and you already do. Like you know that. but really try feeling the vibration of the song and start toning the songs with him. And as you tone the songs and do it in repetition, allow yourself to use it as a bit of a mantra and notice the feelings and vibrations that are happening in your system. So it's almost like you're getting into you're going into a meditative state and you're using the song as a mantra, and see what happens as you repeat it. You're going to find it is at a certain frequency. And when that tone is happening at a certain frequency, it's going to show up at a certain part in your body. And as it's expressing in a certain part of your body, you're going to notice that it's going to be activating and developing certain areas, not only the organ that's associated with it, but the chakra that's associated with it as well. So it feels like he's activating and communicating at a chakra level. And this is, so he's moved into a new body. And in order to make the body do what he needs to do, he has to activate it, and it's happening in tones. So if this feels very much like a mantra that he's doing, done through the song and repetition. So this isn't a bad thing. This is just something that people just don't know anything about. So you look at it strangely because we don't really know what it is. And this kid is multidimensional. He's bringing in shit that is just amazing. Like it is the new world. Like what this kid is bringing in, like he's the future, and he's just full of love and quantifiable manifestation is what I'm hearing. Yeah, he's doing something. Oh, you're welcome, Kay. Okay, so you say here, it's love, his frequency. He looks directly into your soul and very clear eye contact. Yeah. So he's not looking at your eyes. So notice the eyes. The eyes are not only things to receive light, the eyes actually emit light as well. The ears are not only receivers, they're also transmitters. So when he's looking in your eyes, this is a communication piece. It's coming back and forth. We've always kind of heard that. We like looking in the eyes, looking into the soul through the eyes. But notice that the eyes are a transmitter and a receiver. So it actually feels like he's activating with you. Get into the tones. Try doing the tones and the songs with him and see what happens. This is rather actually really exciting, because this is going to be opening up and activating you. And as you align to that frequency, you're going to actually be able to help and guide him more. Okay, like totally keep me abreast on this. I'm really excited to hear more about this. Share it with the community. It's really, really freaking cool what you're entering into. Like super, super freaking cool. Yeah. Wow. So cool. Autism. I'm loving that. My God, it's freaking amazing. So cool. Thanks for bringing that up, Kay. Like, that's just super cool. Okay, so let me come up to Franco. 28. Wait. All right. Franco says, good morning. Thank you for your time. I feel like I have lots of space, but not enough time. I have resistance to something. Not sure. I'm trying to keep my vibe up. Clarity. Okay. Erik, would you come in, please? Okay. Okay. Lots of space. Not enough time. You know, time is something that there is no time. You actually have all the time in the world. And as we get into the thought and you keep on saying, I have no time, I'm super busy, you find that actually you don't have time because you're repeating it. You're creating that as your own mantra. I have no time. I have no time. But you actually do have time. You do have time. And where is that resistance? And it feels like the fear. So there's your resistance and the fear of what's going to be happening for your future, the possibility of who you can be and where you can go. There is the fear of entering into this world and really letting go and seeing what's going to happen of you. And I know that feeling very much. I know that place. As I was in the corporate world and transitioning into more of this world, even though I had the taste through my martial arts and I had the spiritualness with my wife, there was still that fear to reveal it to the world because it was my secret, my secret identity that I wasn't sharing with anybody. My intuition, my development, my ability to be my empathness. So it feels like that. It's like you're reading the books, you're studying it, but you're not fully letting go to live it. You go to the YouTube channels, you understand the mantras, you've got like your chakra colors on the wall, you've got your crystals with you, you've got your beads, and say, okay, I'm doing it. But you really aren't letting go. It's not about having the stuff. That's just a tool. If you think about someone that has a tool belt, they have their hammer, they have a saw, they have the nails, they have all the pieces. But if you don't not actually using the tools, but you can talk about them. Yeah, this hammer, yeah, it can drive a nail right through the wall. I can do so much with this. You see this pen, I can do this line. But if you don't actually use these tools, you're not actually going to let go. So it feels like you need to actually start using the tools that you have. And you've read the manuals enough. Like you already know. You've kind of looked at the patterns. You've kind of said, oh, here's a great idea of something I can create. But you're not actually picking up the tools and doing it. It's time to start doing your crafts and using the tools that you have and letting go of that fear. So how has the resistance? Well, part of it is going to be identifying the fear. So the easiest way to continue to raise your vibrations is starting out with nutrition, making sure that you're getting a higher vibrational foods inside your system. And as you get the higher vibrational foods in your system, you'll start feeling a little bit cleaner, more open. As you do that, continue into your meditations. And then in your meditations, look at this resistance and notice where it shows up in your body. And there's enough examples on this channel of emotional releasing. And then really that emotional release is looking at the emotion, the feeling, the sensation that you have and noticing where it comes in your body and just tuning into it and being with it, being present, not walking away from it. So take a look at that resistance and see what it is. Let me see. Can I tune into the resistance? Yeah, and I already did it. Like it feels like fear to me. There's fear that you have there. And I kind of feel it in my solar chakra. Yeah, and it feels like there's a need to do that. You'll probably benefit from the pineal gland activation that we do on the 22nd at 1 p.m. Look out for that, but start doing some breath work to activate your pineal gland. So what we're going to do in that process is kind of align the chakras. So going into each chakra, then align them one by one right after another. And then we'll start doing a breath work to activate the pineal gland. And then from there, we will then go into the void, and then we'll actually go into the pineal gland and explore and then radiate. A lot of Dr. Joe Dispenza type work, what we'll do. Yeah. So be ready for that. You're coming. Start with nutrition. Eat some, drink some high vibe juices in your system or something, right? Start there. All right. Beautiful, Trish. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Thank you. Hey, R. Taylor, got to see you. Annika, great. Oops. You're welcome, Kay. Okay, Kay says, Phoenix had a hard coming into this world and almost died. So when you said rainbow, it's very true. I prayed for that bridge to allow him to cross. Oh. Yes, cool. And try the pineal gland. Yes. I'm going to take a snippet of the Patreon group that will just kind of talk about how to do the breath. It would be helpful to have some of the background information for anyone that isn't part of the Patreon group. Consider joining the Patreon group and taking a look at that and do that meditation. It's up for the next up until the first Thursday of next month before I take it down and the next one goes up. So yeah, really cool. While I got you guys, if you resonate with the content, like it, share it, help me out, get it out there. And if not, that's okay. Just pay it forward and do something nice for somebody else. I am coming to the ever creative Karen Doyle. Karen, I don't know if you noticed it, if you looked at my Facebook page, but I posted up your clouds. I hope that's okay. The cloud drawings that you do, the artwork on the round discs, they're really cool looking. So I posted it on my Facebook page if anyone wants to go check out Karen's creative clouds. It's really cool. 3523. Okay, Karen says, I'm struggling yet once again with myself and how I fit in and connect to my siblings without feeling left out. So could it be that your siblings feel left out from you? That it's not that you feel left out from them, they are left out from you. Your vibrations and energy is so much more cultivated for the new world, and they feel left behind, that all they can do is pull back and retreat from it. But your energy has lifted up. Sometimes the families that we come into, our job is to transmute their energy and elevate their emotions. And this is your job. You are the creative, you are the expressive one. Your job is to help transmute their trapped emotions and feelings. And the way that you're going to be doing that is just what you're doing. Your creativity, as you're expressing yourself, as you're developing more within yourself, you are opening yourself up more into this energetic field. Like you're just opening yourself up more into it. So don't try to align yourself to their energy. That is really just reducing your energy, and it's going to stifle you. It's going to create more problems, especially in a couple of weeks when we have our Great Awakening. You're going to find more problems. You're just not going to be aligned with them because they're lower vibe than you. So instead of trying to lower yourself to them, continue to raise yourself and raise them up. Yeah, just keep on doing what you're doing. Don't feel that you need to fit in with them. Feel compassion for them that they're not lifting their vibrations up. Feel compassion for them. That's where you're going with this. Compassion. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. That's what I got for you. All right. I'm coming to Grace. Grace at 3757. Grace says, I would love a message from Kuan Yin, please. Okay. Kuan Yin. And I just see her floating in with her dress. It's all very flowy, and I can just see the pieces of garments all over the place, and it's violets and whites and just so much pastels and just beautiful. And her frequency and vibrations are very high. It's a very high frequency and vibration. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so she's got me good now. Okay. All right. What's the message for Grace? I heard the words like she's one of us, like you're one of her, and what she's talking about is being on the vibration of love. And we all have a choice of whether you want to be in a side of fear or love. But when you're in love, you can make no mistakes. And it feels like you are in that vibration of love. And as you continue to hold yourself in that vibration of love and your expressions of love, everything is just falling in line for you. Like you really, there really is no problems. There really is no questioning of what's going to happen for you. It really is into the space of unlimited possibilities. But as long as you're continuing to align yourself to love, you're going to be moving in that direction that is equal to the ascended masters, to Kuan Yin. I know you're doing the Sophia code right now, so it's all these great, wonderful goddesses and ascended masters that are just at that they also align themselves with the vibration of love, and they keep themselves there. And this is your path as well, of aligning yourself and keeping yourself there, and that's where great possibilities and wonderments come. And that's what's happening for you. There's no denying it, no questioning it. That's just what you're doing. So done. All done. You're doing great. Compassion. This keeps coming up. Ugh. Right? Compassion isn't that difficult, but so when you end up having a resistance to compassion, put yourself on the other side of that compassion and notice why. This is what we saw: fear and love. There's an extension of love, or a need for love. So you want love, and there's also a need for you to extend love. So you're in that tug of war right now of receiving and extending love, and you're getting close. Keep going. Keep going. It's going to come. It's going to come. You're getting there. All right. So coming to Anne Sylvester. The lovely Anne says, my friend from high school has really been having a tough time lately. Are things going to get better for him anytime soon? Let's see about this friend. Well, we've said this many times before, and your friend really has a choice. Your friend is kind of wallowing in suffering. So this really is a choice of whether you want to stay in that vibration or not. So it feels like your friend is awakening, but he's also struggling with the identity of what it is to be a man. And the one thing that you can do is remember the truckers that happened in Canada that all went to Ottawa, and the truckers all through the states that went to, I think it was Capitol Hill, or maybe it was DC. I forgot where they were going, but the truckers starting to go to the parliament. And when you watch those videos, all they did was express love. These big, burly, rough and tumble truckers that it's the last thing that you would expect to come out of their mouth. And they're talking love. And they're talking about hugging each other. And they're talking about, I'm just going to be peaceful. You can yell at me. You can be angry at me. I'm just going to hug you and I'm going to love you. So it feels like your friend is on this struggle right now, that he is really questioning the identity of what it is to be a man. And you look at myself, I'm a 6th-degree black belt. I've held my own against some pretty big dudes and a lot of masters. I held my own, and I did more than hold my own. But I also speak at a very big level of love. So this feels like this is something that your friend can actually look at. And so it feels like you look at these videos together and you talk about, look how great these guys are talking about love, about hugging. It's so great that men are waking up, that they're able to express themselves about this. Like, I love that, and this is where you can turn the question, do you ever feel love? And ask that question. And that by asking that feeling question, it's going to go into his soul, into his heart, and I can feel it right in the heart, and it's going to begin to activate. So give him permission to feel love and talk about love. You may already do that already, but it feels like it needs to go a little bit deeper with the need of watching these videos of the truckers and expressing it in a different way. And it feels like you're going to be the catalyst of that. And this is, we talk about this, this cry for love. Like your friend is looking, this is a cry for love, that frustration. He needs love. And there's a way that you can extend love to this. So this is an extension of love. Yeah, it's a cry for love, and this is your extension. So you got something cool that you can do here, very much so, Anne. And your heart is big and loving. That it's very much within your wheelhouse. So I hope you'll do it. I hope you do it. Yeah, really excited for you. Thank you for bringing that question up. Good. Oh, Grace, I'm glad. Yeah. Yeah. Margie says for Karen, maybe you're a starseed for me. I feel very disconnected from my siblings, and I have never felt like belonged. Yeah. And this is all, this is the typical role of the light worker. We are brought into challenging families. And when you go into a challenging family, it actually heightens up your empathy because you end up being on guard. You put your feelings on guard. It's like, oh, is my feelings going to be hurt right now? Is something going to happen to my feelings? So we are put into these very difficult families to cultivate our empath abilities, to heighten our sensitivity. And in that, we become very much connected. So whether it is light worker, star seed, it is all the same that we are here as beings of light to transmute our current lifetime, their past lifetime, and really help the world of this next stage that we're going into. And it's all about light workers. Yeah, we're here very much for a specific purpose and reason. And yeah, it's just following that light. I love it. Okay, so I'm coming to Angela. And Angela. Okay. Angela says, I'd love a message from Kurt today. Thanks so much. Okay, Kurt, whoever you are. Would you come in, please? I feel a lot of energy just kind of showing up in my mid back, behind my heart and solar plexus. Hey, Kurt. There's a bit of heaviness on my shoulders right now and just behind my neck on that little hump that you have. Okay, so what's your message for Angela? I'm just feeling all the energy kind of cultivate and go down my center chakras through my spines. And it's like a settling feeling that's moving down into my my upper and lower abdomen, right in between. That's behind my navel. That's the sacral chakra. And there's a feeling of comforting and peace within that area that needs to be nurtured. And if he's talking about your own request for love, that you're extending love, you're extending it out to anyone around you. It feels like your husband and feels others around you. So you're extending out, and you want love, you need it, and there's a need for nurturing that. And it feels like this nurturing, this need for love, safety, that security net. There's also that feeling of guilt, because as if you've pushed people away. So you want love from those you've pushed away, and there's that guilty feeling. Okay, so there's the premise. So Kurt, what's the message on that then? And it's that piece that you want to begin to let go. Letting go of the guilt of pushing people away will actually open up the door to allow those people to come back into your space and give you the love that you are looking for. Now he's saying you can actually love those areas yourself. You do not need anybody else. But because you have that guilt, this is something that you can do, is releasing the guilt, which will relieve the stress in your adrenals, which will then actually bring down your wall of keeping those people away and allow them to come back into your life a little bit closer. And that's going to give you some of the love that you're looking for, that attention that you want. So it feels like there's that push-pull. Now, of course, you have your own ability of as well of going into the feeling. So notice the feeling that you're having, particularly revolving around the need for safety, to be nurtured, and the feeling of guilt. And notice where those feelings show up in your body, and then spend time with those emotions and transmute them, move them, give them love, and shift that out of your system. That's where it feels like you need to go. And this is that feeling of stuck that you've been in, that's going to help release this. That's going to help move that. So do that. Okay. Lower two chakras, sacral, solar plexus, which is your safety net, guilt. Release those two to yourself, but particularly the guilt, so you can start receiving love and stop pushing people away. I hope that makes sense. Thank you for asking. You're welcome, Anne. This is so nice. Margie Jones, a loving hug to you and your emotions you've probably held in until you private release them. Keep loving your son. Keep loving him. I'm reading this while your middle son is an alcoholic. Anything I can do? Yeah, got it. Yeah. Okay, Margie, I'm going to do you next. Because I brought it up. Okay, so Margie, 5159. Okay. Please ask Erik why my middle son is an alcoholic, and is there anything I can do to help him? Thank you. Erik. Okay, middle son. Why is he an alcoholic? His particular use of alcohol is to suppress fear. Okay, what else? It feels like this is childhood trauma, possibly even before the age of 5, it feels like. But it feels like he has childhood trauma. And the alcohol is a way to not be able to look at that trauma. And I don't know what type of trauma this is. It doesn't really matter, but it feels like there's trauma that when he was young, particularly before he was 5. And this is why he has very foggy memories, but it's more of a feeling within him. And as he's becoming very sensitive to these feelings, he wants to push it away. He doesn't want to actually look at it. Okay, so what can Margie do or anyone else do this? The unfortunate side effect of alcohol that it really disconnects you from your higher self, from receiving clear guidance. It creates a really big haze and a big disconnection from your higher self and soul. So what can she do? Ultimately, at this stage, this is going to become a choice for your son to make those changes. He's on his path. What you can continue to do is tune into the pain that might have happened before 5. And it could even be something that you might have noticed, but you thought about, but you just said, nah, it can't be it. And you suppressed it. go back into your own feelings and emotions. And so just kind of hold your sun in your heart. Notice where that shows up in your body. And as you go into meditation, you ask the question is, what is my son suppressing? What is he hiding with the alcohol? What are the emotions that need to be released? Okay, well, whether you notice it or not, Margie, there is something there and it's being suppressed, and it's suppressed with alcohol. So you still do this, even though you don't know what it is. You do know that there's trauma there, there's alcohol. So you're going to ask that. Just tune into your son because you birthed him. You have that connection with him. You can still do this. So there's a need for you to go in there and start releasing that trauma and giving it love, and just casting love and seeing that. Try to tune into what that trauma is and see if you can release it. And by releasing it, you just sit with it, you identify it and give it love. You notice that trauma, and it really feels like it was either something that was done to him that he didn't want. It could just be rough housing with family, with other brothers, possibly. But it could be something more than that. But it was an event, and there's created fear with him that it's made him kind of pull back. And the whole notion of accident prone, it feels like a bit of a protection thing, that if he was injured and people felt sorry for him, that they wouldn't hurt him. They wouldn't enter into his space because he was already injured. So this whole idea about accident prone falls under that. Yeah. Yeah. So you can tune into that and see. If you need help, take a look at some of the emotional release playlist stuff. I'll link that at the end. Just kind of making a note here. Emotional release for the playlist. And I'm just going to add the playlist at the end. But if you go to the homepage, scroll down, look at the playlist, you'll see the emotional release and get an idea of how to do that for your son. You can do that for him. Yeah, because he's in fear. That's what it feels. He's suppressing. He's running away from something there. Yeah, definitely running away. Okay. Hey, Mahi. Great. I've added you. Hi, Robinette. I've added you. Andrew, I got your second question. There's Jim. Okay. You can come back up here. And I'm now coming up to Disha 58. So while I got a few people here, if you don't mind, help me out, like the video, and if you got your message, come back and leave a comment of what you think about this, what you want to see different, or what it might be. So help brother out. Okay, so D says, I can't stop thinking about my ex. Either it is with love or hate or just loneliness. I never stop thinking about him. How to move on? Don't know what I want. Sometimes I want to be with him, and sometimes other times not. Like I don't know if I should manifest being with him and being our best versions, because I feel I can do that, but I don't know if I want him, because of other times I hate him and other times I want him. All right. Who's coming in for this one? I feel Archangel Raphael coming through for this one. And he's saying, love is all about a vibrational alignment. And you bring in to your space how you're feeling about yourself. So part of the desire you have is that bodily function. It's the biology of the body that is craving love, that wants love. And, the closest love that you have is with your ex. But that quality of love isn't satisfying for your soul. It'll be satisfying for you physically, to be holding hands or kissing or what have you that goes along with that, you'll get that part, the physical part, satisfied, will take care of your body, but it doesn't satisfy your soul. So the idea of connecting with this particular X isn't necessarily in vibrational alignment with you. So for you, the first step is to begin and to continue to love yourself. It's to continue to look in the mirror and see and talk to yourself, looking in your eyes and saying, "I love you. You're perfect the way you are. I love who you are. Look how beautiful you are. You're wonderful. I love being with you." And we're talking about solitude. And any person that's going to be with me is going to be lucky to be with me because I'm beautiful and I'm wonderful. So the idea is for you to start looking at yourself and to start talking to yourself and saying how beautiful and wonderful you are, that you are love. And as you continue to sit in your vibrations and notice the negativity that comes through and releasing the negative thoughts that you have. And ultimately, a lot goes with this meditation. There's a couple of ways to do this. That as you've had that thinking, feeling thoughts, because what happens is you start having that negative thought about yourself, and that then releases certain chemicals in the body, and then goes to a certain organ, and that organ then creates some sort of stress of a feeling within the body. And now you start feeling that in your body, and that feeling in your body, you start getting that thought again, which stimulates, so it now starts to cycle again. So you get stuck in this feeling, thinking loop that is constantly hardening your energy centers. And so you're just creating a lot of conflict within yourself with this negative feeling, thinking loop. Now you can actually change that with loving thoughts. As you continue to practice loving yourself and thinking those positive thoughts, you again release a different set of endorphins. And those endorphins and chemicals that are released in your system cultivate and raise your emotions, that you start getting into a loving feeling loop of now you're thinking of love. And when you think about love, you're releasing these positive emotions and endorphins that elevate your body. And so as you continue to, in that type of energy, you're going to emanate and radiate a different type of chemical. And that chemical is going to bring a different type of being in you that is more on the love, so that when you do touch hands, that when you do kiss, as you do caress each other, you're going to feel a spark. And that spark is not only a physical chemical spark, but is one for your emotional soul as well. This is very much what I have with my wife. We don't need to necessarily have physical relations. We don't need to talk, but simply just by being in our presence, we are energizing each other's emotions. And that's very much how I feel when I'm with my wife. I just need to be near her. We don't have to say anything. But when we touch, and especially when we're intimate with each other, it is multiplying in the effect that feeds our soul. So this is something that you want to get into as well, by removing the thoughts and feelings that you have that are against you, tuning into the love that you are, and cultivate the love that's within you, and realize that you first need to love yourself. When you love yourself, everything else will start going into motion. So it really goes back into loving yourself. I hope that makes sense, Dee. I really hope that makes sense, because you deserve love. You deserve love. Okay, so Marge said, I've been told he was a soldier in the 1800s, may have died wanting alcohol for the pain. I get that he was a soldier in the 1800s because we've had a lot of lives, and a lot of the times this is repeating. So yes, sure, but it still doesn't solve the problem, right? So even though people might have, like, we have multiple lives and we don't learn our lesson, we come back in a different format. And in that particular lifetime, he might have wanted alcohol. But regardless, the problem is overcoming alcohol or connecting to your higher self. That's not really the true purpose of the alcohol. It happens to be the catalyst or the tool that's being used to suppress his emotions, to disconnect him. But it feels more the contract is to reconnect within himself. And when we come back in these lifetimes, if we didn't learn our lesson, we're still going to have the same problem, but it doesn't mean it's going to be always going to be alcoholism, or it's always going to be the same thing. So that statement doesn't necessarily resonate. I get that he was in the 1800s. The alcohol for the pain, but the alcohol for the pain, I felt is more external rather than internal. And that is a physical pain that's there. Now we're talking about an emotional pain, which is different. So I don't really see the connection of that one. I don't. But hey, who says it's I'm right, right? Who says I'm right? Andrew says, thank you, Cons. Message resonates so well for me. Yes, good. Love that. Brother Ahsen, I've added you. When I feel forgiveness for him, I feel like going back to him. Yeah, so that's your body wanting to go back to him. So you feel you have the compassion and letting go, but you're not really letting it go because you're just saying this is you're just trading one for another. You're trading that, oh, I feel sorry for you. It's like, oh, puppy, come here, puppy, I love you. Like you're hanging on to garbage. Look at the video that I posted on he ghosted me. Will he come back? And that is very much this. You're craving that attention and feeling. It's more of on a physical level. This is on a different level. Hi, Dipti. I've added you. Okay, there you go. Okay, you're all good. I'm glad you got that D. Okay, White Rabbit, I've got you. And then Marlene. White Rabbit. And we're past the hour mark. Okay. Okay, so White Rabbit says, hi, lovely Khan. If I attend university and I still struggle with the academics, how does my higher self suggest me to tackle this? Great question. All right, higher self, would you come in, please? You come in stronger. Okay. Struggle with academics. So the higher self is saying, don't focus on the struggle, focus on what is working for you. Because you already know, you already know the struggle, the academics is going to be a struggle because you've set that intention. The academics are going to be a struggle. All right, so you know it's going to be a struggle. So don't harp on the idea that the academics are a struggle. So as you're going through this, this is so, I'm struggling. Focus more on the, hey, I move this one little fraction of movement. I'm getting somewhere. Yeah, all right, awesome. Oh, I just moved this tiny other little fraction. Oh, that's great. So focus more on the success of what you're doing rather than on the struggle. And as you focus on the success, you're going to find your momentum is going to get a little bit better, because you already know it's going to be a struggle. Yeah, it's going to suck. But if you focus on the success, you're going to change that energy and you're going to transmute it into the positive side of things. You're just like, yeah, all right, I'm moving. You knew that it was going to be, and I see you essentially like moving through mud and weeds. And it's just, you're completely entangled in this. And as you're completely restricted, it doesn't mean that you're not moving. And that's what a struggle is that it feels like it's not just like a free flow run that you're experiencing. It is, you're moving in tiny little steps. So focus on and celebrate the small steps, not on the struggle. And you're going to do that. You're going to do just fine. You're going to find you're going to get better. You're going to get momentum. You're going to give it a bit of a groove. Yeah, it's good. And when you do kind of get hit in the face again, it's like, oh, fuck. That hurt. All right. Yep. I knew that was going to happen because you know it's going to happen. You know it's coming. I knew that was going to happen. All right. Thank you. Yep. I'm going to keep going. Oh, but that hurt. But, I went back a little bit, but I'm going forward just that little bit more too. So don't focus on the setbacks and the struggle. Just focus on the positive movement that you're making. Cool. Thank you for that. That was really good. I like that one. Lovely Kira. Hi, sweetie. Okay. Thanks. You're welcome, sweetie. You are welcome. All right. I'm coming to Marlene. Marlene, I'm laughing at you. So I don't know if when you type in all caps in the internet world, or I guess in texting world, it's considered that you're yelling. So as I read it, and I know you're not doing that, but as I read this, can I have a message from Erik, Archangel Erik, please? Okay. I hear you. Erik is he's joking. He's got like the cone in his ears. He's just laughing. Okay. Joke over. All right. So what does Marlene need to hear? Erik, come on in, please. Hilarious. All right. What does she need to hear? I feel like it has to do with your partner. That you're getting that feeling again that he's annoying you, that he's getting your space again. But in this sense, he might be in your space and you're interpreting it as you're annoying me, but think of it more that he's trying to get close to you to understand you, and he's only able to communicate in the way that he's able to communicate. So if you're able to see that, this big lug just doesn't know any better, and this is just the way he talks, like think about like a big dog. And a big dog, the only way they know how to show affection is by plopping themselves on you. And every time they plop on you, they're either going bone on bone against your shin, or they're laying right on top of your thighs, and they're digging their elbows into you. And it's so painful, but it's their expression of love. So I'm feeling that this is your partner. He's just very much a big dopey dog. He wants to be close to you, and he doesn't know how to do it. And this is his way of expressing love or wanting to be close to you. And your response, like, get away from me. Like, you just get away. But really, this is an expression of love. So big dopey dog partner is expressing himself in this way. So give the dog a bone. Pun intended. Give the dog a bone and let him in a little bit. Yeah, I hope that resonates. Let me know, Marlene. Let me know. And thank you for reposting your question. Thank you for reposting. Yes. Yes. Just, awesome. All right. I'm just going to come up to the top here again. And I'm just going to remind Chaitu, Samruddhi, and KB if you want to repost your messages, because you came in a little bit too early and it's in the cutoff. Although I'll try and get to it at end. So I'm coming to the beautiful Trish Ellis, 11347. All right. Trish, first time I'm on one of these cons, and I hope you don't mind me saying, but thank you. Phoenix children are gracious. Oh, my God. Yes, I'm glad you said that. Yeah. Thank you, Phoenix. Children are gracious. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And what I say here, Trish, I hope everyone expresses themselves, because this is a community. Even if you are getting a different message, a similar message, post it on here. This isn't my show. This is all of us. This is a practice. So if you are getting messages, you're getting thoughts, you're getting feelings, please express it, because many of the times It's because the people on this channel, they need to hear the message that we're all getting. So this isn't all about me. It's far from it, because we are a collective. We are one. We've had past lives with each other's. We are here to help each other in any way we can. So if you're getting a message, you're getting a feeling, you're getting a thought, please say it, and thank you for expressing yourself. There are no sorries on this channel. It is all about acceptance and love and sharing. So thank you, thank you, Trish. Okay, Marlene says, okay, thanks. Yes, it does resonate. It does not show emotions very well, and he is annoying. Yeah, big floppy dog. Got it. He is. All right, so I'm coming to R. Taylor. R. Taylor. Okay, 1:15:25. Okay, so is my mom an angel? I don't know what sense you mean in that, but I'm sure they're going to know what sense you mean that in. So, in the sense that she's asking, is her mom an angel? If you're thinking that she is, so she's passed, she has these big flowing wings on her. No, angels aren't necessarily, angels are essentially a different being. Angels are angels. There are archangels, which are the status of angel, but they're not necessarily angels. They don't necessarily get the wings. The sense that you're kind of expressing, it seems that it's an angel with wings, and that is not necessarily it. Now, it doesn't mean that your mom is not an angel, quote unquote, angel with wings. She holds the energy of an angel. She's very much expressive of love. She's a being of love, like we all are, but she's very much a being of love. So, in the quote unquote sense of angel, yes. In the actual sense of angel, no. But she's an angel. She's still an angel in that loving, caring, beautiful soul sense. She's a beautiful angel. But might not be in the sense that you're imagining with wings. That's what I'm getting. Yep. And if anyone else gets that, hey, let me know. Let me know. Good. Chaitu, you posted again. Thank you for that, sweetie. Okay. Got you. I added you to the list, and I'm coming to Annika. Annika, and we're at 1:17:34, and I'll be posting all these timestamps in the description afterwards, so you can come back and listen to it if you can't stick around. So Annika says, hi, Khan and my spiritual team. Is there any message from my spiritual team? I know that next few years are going to be life-changing big time somehow. All right, Annika's spiritual team. Somebody want to come in? I feel a male figure coming in with like big, long, dark hair. It's almost like a rocker type look, but it's just a big mane of messy hair. But it almost like they have a childlike face. They're coming through, but that rocker vibe is there as well. It's very odd. I wish I could. I wish I was able to draw in a way and just kind of show what I could see. Anyways, okay. So my spiritual team. Is there anything for my spiritual team? I know that next year is going to be life changing. Yeah. Who wants to comment on that? Or you want to comment on that? Yeah, as it is for everybody. It's not even the next few years. It's not even that long. So here's the timeline that they're giving me, that in the next 2 weeks, the big shift is going to happen. The big demolition is going to happen. And your world, our entire world, is going to be rocked. But anytime there's demolition, there's always cleanup. especially all of us as light workers. We're here to be part of the cleanup and help those that are not awakening. So 7 billion people on the planet, 6 billion are holding it to their own ways, 1 billion have ascended and raising up into this higher vibration of energy. And most of those billion are trying to figure themselves up still. And you're one of them. And that's okay. But you are awoken. So what we're going to see in the next 2 weeks, demolition, and the next 8 months, it's going to be like a lot of cleanup and shifting and recalibrating. And after those 8 months, as we get into next year, we're going to begin to really feel ourselves awakening. This, for those that are awakening, this is going to be more of a relief. So when the big crash kind of happens, it's okay to have, oh no, this is really crazy. Oh my God, have a little fear. But then don't hold on to that fear. Let it go and know that this is all part of the plan. You have to demolish. You have to demolish the kitchen before you can renovate. You have to demolish, you have to clean up, and then you can rebuild. And that's what we're entering into, the demolition. And that's going to be happening. And it's okay. So it's going to be some crazy, crazy days for a little while, crazy months for a while. It's going to be a little bit crazy. 2-3 months, really, really crazy, but it's going to get better. And we're going to see the light. Just know that things are going to get okay. So again, to summarize, have the pity party, notice it, but don't wallow in the pity party. Know that it gets better because it always gets better. We're not the type of people that we're just going to sit there and sit in our filth. We're going to clean up. We're going to find another way. And we're going to work together to come up with a new system, a better system that is more caring, loving, and responsive, because that's the energy that we're in. And it's not that we're doing this. We have higher forces and an all-knowing being that is driving this entire thing. So we're good. So hang in there. Hang in there. Yeah, we're really good. Good. Art Taylor says yes. Good. I'm glad that resonates. Okay. I got Margie. So I'm coming to Mahi. Mahi. 1:22:10. Okay, so Mahi says, today I'd love to hear a message from my nanny, maternal grandmother. Okay. Nanny. I feel her coming to me as a larger woman, but in the sense that like you just have so much to squish and grab that it's just so loving. I can feel her nurturing. She's coming to me like in an apron, and a lot of nurturing through food, and just very caring. And what does Mahi need here? Excuse me. It's a lot of energy right now. What does Mahi need to hear? It feels like love and acceptance. And she's saying, I've always taught you to love yourself, because she's always said like how beautiful you are. She's only said positive things to you, which helped develop you and who you are today. But it also is, it's also that you've kind of pulled back on that you're forgetting about who you are in this loving being. So there's a need for you to actually tune back into yourself and remember the love, remember who you are, remember what she taught you. She's always said like, you're so beautiful, you're wonderful. And she said, you shouldn't say, well, maybe not wonderful, but she's always said you're beautiful. But other words that are like wonderful. It's always been positive, loving words that she said to you. And she really wants you to say that for yourself as well, to love yourself, to be kinder to yourself. She's a real gentle soul, very nurturing and loving and caring. And she wants you to remember that. At least that's the feeling that's coming through. I hope that resonates for you. Okay, coming to Robinette. Lovely Robinette. Okay, Robinette says, please help me. I can't eat and have no energy. I have a colonoscopy in September, but suffering in the meantime. Okay. What's going on there? I'm feeling you're having sensitivities to food. Have you ever done a sensitivity test? Or what's more so, instead of even just kind of getting a test, look at an elimination diet. And you can go to Oasis Health. Go to oasishealth.ca, and in the blog there, Rita has an elimination diet that you can go check out. So go check out Rita's site. Look at the elimination diet. To me, it feels like you're having sensitivities to food, and there's a rebalancing that needs to happen. So if you're eating over processed foods or certain foods that the body no longer knows how to digest, it's gonna create problems in the digestive system. And pretty much the number one reason of problems that most of us have starts in the digestive system. And to me, it feels like you have a sensitivity. Wheat and dairy really come up for me. That wheat, dairy, eggs. There's a bunch of other foods, but there really is a need to rebalance. You might actually want to consider getting into a juice cleanse and just doing juices for a while, and that's going to just flood the system with nutrients. So look at juicing as well. And that's just the idea about juicing is that there's no fiber. So you're not putting it into a blender. You're putting it into a juicer or a masticating machine. And look at cold pressed juices or anything. You can get them. There's so many people that buy juicers that they get rid of, but check out Facebook and I'm sure you can get a free one. And you put your juice in there or you put your vegetables in there. And what it does is that it takes all the pulp and everything else away from it. It leaves you the juice and the nutrients. So when you drink it, it bypasses your stomach. It goes right into your intestines, and your intestines actually just absorb the juices. So essentially gives your stomach a break, and you're just flooding your system with nutrients. And that's what juicing is. And that's what I feel that you need is to move to do juicing for a bit. At least start with a day. Even do a weekend, but look at a juicing kit. You can actually even go to like there's a lot of juicing places. Look at cold pressed juices, particularly if you can look at a cold pressed juice or a masticating juicer. There are two types. There's one that's called a centrifuge and another kind that's called a masticating. The centrifuge is a metal disc that just slices it and just takes very fine slices off the juicer. And then separates the pulp from the juice, and you end up getting a little bit more pulp from it. But the other one is the masticating juicer that squishes it with a big, essentially a big fist that squishes it. The masticating juicer is slower and it's louder, but it doesn't create a lot of friction. The centrifuge, because the blades are moving so fast, it's creating friction, which is killing off the nutrients within the juice. So if you do get a centrifuge juicer, you need to juice it. You need to drink it immediately, like within minutes to within the hour. Every hour that passes by, more nutrients are dying off. With the masticating juicer, it's kind of the same thing, except you instead of 24 hours that the nutrients die off, you have 3 days. of the nutrients dying off. So you get much more nutrients. It's much more safer. It's a slower process, but you get much more nutrients into your system. So there's the need that I get for you, that there is a need to juice and to eliminate wheat, dairy, eggs. There's a bunch of other sensitivities that you have. So consider doing an elimination diet that you pretty much eliminate everything. You just do juicing and you start introducing foods bit by bit. But juicing is a need for you. And that totally changed my life, doing juicing. Actually, after I did juicing, when I got off it, that's when I couldn't go back to meat. And that really opened up my spiritual awareness that is super high vibe foods. And this actually could be towards your awakening. They're going to start with your stomach, so you can't eat the foods that you eat, and get high vibe juices into your system. And that's really going to elevate your energy in a big way. Cool. I like it. I'm excited for you. It actually is something cool is going to be happening for you. Okay, Angel, I'm going to put you to the end, and I'm coming to Jim. 1:30. 38. Okay, so Jim says, just ask now with my pendulum, and it appears you were my brother in a previous lifetime. Yeah, in previous lifetimes with others in this group too. So cool. Yeah, totally. There's definitely a reason why much of you have come to this channel, or you've connected with me and said, I don't know why I'm here, but I just felt compelled to. And most of the time that means that, we're here to support each other and help each other. Yeah, Jim, we were totally brothers. Yeah, totally. That's awesome. Thanks for the confirmation, man. Beautiful. I'm coming to Ahsen. And okay, Ahsen. 1:31:21. So Ahsen says, hey, brother, good to see you. I've been getting more positive attention from girls. What should I let go of to have more of these experiences? Listen to the recording that we did in our one-on-one. You're doing it. You're shifting yourself into love. You're letting go of the negative talk about yourself, and you're shifting into what you love about yourself. And that's what we've been talking about. I've said it like a bunch of times. You're raising your vibrations, and as you feel better about yourself, people notice the confidence within you, the love that you have within you, and you're radiating. That's what I said, Ahsen, like, you're a good-looking dude. You're a good-looking dude with a really big heart. You are a catch, and you just keep on loving yourself and letting go, and you're getting there. Just keep being you, man. Keep being you. Yeah, you don't got to do much at all. I'm being told to come to Angela. Angela at 1:32. And I got Dipti and Chaitu after. So 40. Okay. So Angela says, an H here. I'd love a message from Metatron. Okay, so Metatron. Come in, please. You can come in closer. Yeah, thank you for that. He's trying to be mindful of how much he brings in, how much energy he puts into my system. Okay, so what does Angela need to hear for her greatest good? No, he's coming back to your first message. So you heard your first message. You can listen to it again at 46:59 or at the 57-minute mark. He goes, that's all you need to listen to right now. That's the stage you're at. You need to release in order to allow. In order to create, you need to create the space in the room, and that's where you're at. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so coming to Dipti, and you are at 1:34:09. And Dipti says, hello, Khan. I'd like to ask who my soulmate is, or do I even have one? I've always been a loner deep inside. Thanks. Who wants to come in? I don't know who this being is. It feels like an ascended master from the Indian culture. Khul. It feels like Khul is here. Khul has the most loving energy, very similar to Mother Mary. So Khul, very fatherly. Okay, so talk to me about soulmate. Who soulmate is? So he's talking about your journey of self-love and the self-love that you have. That is really part of your journey in this life. So once you really understand yourself and love yourself, that's when your mate is going to come in. He's not just going to call it a soulmate, but he's going to call it a mate. Because a soulmate typically comes in a little bit earlier in your lifetime in order for you to learn and cultivate with. And that doesn't seem the case in this lifetime, that you're going to have a soulmate. You will have a mate that's very loving and kind and gentle and in vibrational alignment with you. But it's more so about you getting yourself into the state of vibrational alignment and letting go more about the emotional baggage that you have, the feelings that you have. So there's a need and there's a reason that you are a loner. So move in with that feeling of loneness and allow. Yeah, allow. Yeah. So you're just keep on working on yourself. Work on those emotions, release them. Really identify who you are. Continue with your shadow work, your meditations, tuning into yourself, and let go of that. You need to be alone right now. You need to be, because the relationship, especially one that's not meant to help you in the way that you're expecting it to help you, it's just going to hinder you and distract you from where you need to go. So right now you're on a mission of really looking deeply in yourself. So continue to look deeply in yourself and learn to love your soul before you love a mate. You got to love yourself first before you give that away. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Yeah, awesome. Okay, KB, I got you. Thanks for reposting, KB. And I'm coming to Chaitu at 1:37:38. Yeah. Okay, I'd love to get a message from my younger brother, as he's having a tough time from the last 2 weeks, health issues, gastritis, and recently he had arguments with strangers. All right, what's going on with it? It feels like your brother is holding on to a lot of deep guilt. And, when you feel guilty, you just feel sick to your stomach. So there's all this guilt that he's holding on to. He has guilt with your fiance, your ex-fiance as well. So he's holding on to guilt for that he needs to let go and nurture and love. Yeah. Yeah, I feel it's just that guilt towards your ex-fiance. You can help him with this a bit, Chaitu, about some of the lessons that you've been learning. Consider sharing some of the struggles that you've been having and the guilt, and know that this didn't happen to you. It's happened for you. These things happen. People decide to come in and out of our lives, whether they come in physical format and then leave and move into an energetic format, or if they just physically move into your life and physically leave your life. it's called ghosting. It happens for a reason. And a lot of the times it's for a catalyst, for change, to educate you, to teach you something. And other times it's meant to, it's simply meant for a lesson. All these changes are good. So your brother needs to look at that guilt that he has in his system and know that it's not his fault. It's part of change, and it needed to happen. So the brother, your ex-fiance, this was his gift to you all, that he decided to come in and leave the way that he did. It's a gift, not a curse. I hope you guys can resonate with that. And you might not now, you might not understand it, but you will eventually. Okay, so I'm coming to KB now. And KB says, I see numbers 44, 444, 77, 777 every day for more than a year now. Are angels trying to give me messages to this number? If yes, what's the message? Okay. Well, you already know that they're trying to give you messages. That's obvious. And you knew the answer to that already. All right. So what is the message? The message is that you are not alone. That you are connected to the divine. That these repetitions of numbers is to give you comfort, to show you that the sequences are repetitive. They're all around you. So you're never going to feel alone because you always have these numbers. Now, if you translate these numbers into angels, guides, family, loved ones, you know that you are never alone. And that is the primary message of why people receive these numbers. It's not necessarily because there's a specific message, but initially it could come in any format. And in your case, it's to know that you're not alone, that what you are seeing, what you're feeling is exactly what you are supposed to see and feel, because this is where you're supposed to go. This is for your vibrational alignment. So you are exactly where you need to be, KB. This is for you. And so next steps is you to know that you're not alone and allow. And when you know you're not alone, and just begin to talk to them and say, thank you for being around me. Or, thank you for showing me. And then as you see that number, take a minute to pause and quiet yourself and feel yourself go into space, into the void. Physically go into space. Meditate, quiet yourself down, go into the space between the moon and the earth, that darkness, and feel yourself expanding in all directions, and just hold yourself in the silence and wait for the message to come in. And this is why we practice meditation, in order to hear the messages. So if you want to get into that stage, really work on your meditation, move yourself into the darkness and then into the stillness, and just wait and allow the message to come into you. And that's what I'm doing here. This is a practice. I take the meditation, which I do long bouts of stillness, of not saying anything, and I get messages. And this is where I practice it. And that changes over time. This isn't just something that you do for a couple of weeks or a month. This is something that changes all the time. Like it's huge and expanding even more. I've been doing this for, I'm not going to say for a long time, but it's ever changing for the time that I have been spending on it. It's ever changing. Yeah, it's growing all the time. I hope that resonates, KP. Thank you for asking that. Oops, I'm going to take that off. I'm just going to come to the very top here, because I said I would read, I believe it's Samruddhi. Samruddhi, and you are at 143.39. Okay, so where's Samruddhi? There we go. Okay. 43.46 for Samruddhi. Samruddhi says, hi, can I get a message from Archangel Raphael for my father's health? All right, health. Raphael, would you come in? Thank you. Oh, his energy is just so comforting right now. Okay, so what do you want to say about Samruddhi's father's health? It feels like this energy has come in for your father to help him look a little bit more deeper into himself, help him kind of understand who he is truly. Because as you have health problems, especially for the stronger energies, like the male figures, testosterone filled, that's full of ego. This energy needs to be taken down a few notches. And that typically comes down through health. And that's what happened to me. You know, I was a 6-degree black belt. I was racing motorcycles. I was running not a large business, but a small business I was running. So I had a big ego the way that I talked and acted. I need to be taken down a few notches in order to realize, you know, I'm humble. I'm no better than anybody else. That happened to me, for me, not to me. And this is happening for your father right now as well, that he's been brought down a few notches so that he can explore a little bit deeper within himself about who he truly is. And it feels like this is going to help with his transition, that when he moves off, that this is more for his spiritual growth. And there's a reason why a lot of people are getting sick right now, that they have a choice that within the next couple of weeks, you know, the shit is going to hit the fan. Excuse my language, but it's all going to come crashing down. So this is almost like a latch ditch effort that a lot of people are getting sick with different diseases and issues. And it's really meant for people to look inside themselves and really, really see who they are. And do they just want to get back to drinking and smoking and going out and eating and whatever it might be? Or will they actually take the minute and say, okay, what is going on? There's something wrong with this. Like, what is happening to me? So this is an opportunity for your father to look within himself and really look at his emotions. And that's what he's here for, to look at his emotions and release what he's been holding back with himself. All right. So luckily that is the end of this session, because I'm starting to squirm and I need to use the facilities. So I hope you remember to join me on June 22nd at 1 p.m. for the advanced pineal gland activation and growth. So that's going to be happening June 22nd, 1 p.m. It's going to be happening here also on my Facebook page. And I'm going to be announcing that soon. I'm going to be putting a practice session up somewhere. I don't know where it is. I'll be putting a practice session up, or at least the basis in order to do the breath. It's probably going to be on the YouTube, but also on my Facebook. So I'll put it there. And, you know, if you can support me, please do. If you can't do it through a donation, you know, leave a like up or just kind of come up to somewhere else. Leave me a like. Do solid. Help me out here. So that really ends it. I'm going to stop yammering now. So thanks for joining me. This is another Channeling Erik Archangel Guidance. Join me every Friday for live readings, and I use this as a practice. So again, thanks, Erik. Channeling Erik Archangel Guidance. Another great live reading Friday. So I will see you again next week. Much love, everybody. Thanks for being you, and I'll see you again. Bye.